I want to take you to the other developing story in Braamfontein. President Ramaphosa has just wrapped up giving his keynote address at the Bana Pele Early Childhood Development Leadership Summit. It's quite a mouthful. He is seemingly engaging the media in what seems to be a doorstop moment. I wonder if we can just listen in for you, get you a sense of what else he has to say.
Okay, guys, shoot with the question.
Okay.
All right, Mr. President, we understand that the persona non grata ambassador is on his way back. Let's start off, Mr. President. Do you believe that he was correct, and was it diplomatic for him to make those remarks? And secondly, at what stage are you going to put together that GNU envoy to go to the United States? And who will be replacing Mr. Rasool?
Well, Ibrahim Rasool will be coming back soon, as the U.S. State Department has ruled that he is no longer acceptable in the U.S. And he's going to come back and give me a full report. So I will wait for a full report from him. But at the same time, we have noted the displeasure that has been expressed by the United States, particularly about the remarks he made, and we have noted that, and we will engage with them as we are already engaging with them. And engagement with them continues, and it's going to take a variety of forms. It's going to be through envoys, it's going to be through people either from the business community, labor, and a whole number of others also from government. Improving our relationship with the United States of America is a priority for us. They are our trading partner, second largest trading partner after China, and we will therefore seek, as we must, to ensure that our relations are on a good footing, which is one thing that we do with all countries in the world. South Africa seeks always to have good relations with all countries in the world. We don't have enemies in the world. We always seek to have very good and friendly relations. So sometimes relations with nations do go through their ups and downs. And as they go through their ups and downs, the responsible thing to do by any nation is to make sure that you deal with the challenges that there are, you straighten out the difficulties, and we've always found that when there are such challenges and we engage, we do find solutions. So this is precisely what we are now going to do, and this is our job. This is our responsibility as a government to advance the interests of our country as well as the interests of the people of South Africa.
Mr. President, from ENCA, is it true that the Americans are blue-ticking you as South Africa? You've been knocking, asking for the audience. Are they blue-ticking you? Number two, what is your comment on the undiplomatic way they handled this matter?
Well, we're not being blue-ticked. We are engaging. If blue-ticking means, as I understand it, it's used by young people, that we are being ignored. We are not being ignored. We are continuing to engage with them. And as it is now, a great deal of progress had been made by our ambassador in straightening out the path to ensure that there is meaningful engagement at the diplomatic level. So this is a hiccup that we are working on straightening out. So we are not being blue-ticked. We cannot be blue-ticked because we are such an important player to the United States of America as they are an important player to South Africa from a political point of view, from a trade point of view, and from a whole number of other important points of view. So we are not blue-tickable, if I can use that term. We cannot be ignored. And so we will, and they have sent a message. They sent a note verbal to inform us about the action that they took. So that shows that they have formalized the communication. So we are not being blue-ticked. We are being recognized, much as it first came out in a tweet, but it did finally come out in a formal communication. And we will engage with the United States of America in a formal way. We will do so with deep respect for them and for President Trump as well. We will deal with the U.S. as an important global player, as we are also an important player. So our relations to the United States are going to be put on even keel. So I would like the people of South Africa not to have sleepless nights, have peaceful nights, knowing that we are working on ensuring that this relationship is put on a good footing going forward, because we trade together, we play together in various sports, and we are political interactors in a number of forums, and so we have to deal with each other without any doubt.
Samgelo, last question.
Samgelo is here.
I don't suppose you want to know about ECG.
Mr. President, two questions. On the issue of ECD, I hear you bringing out figures there on numbers. The minister's party here is against your budget. This particular budget tabled by your minister encompasses the money Mrs. clearly needs in her department. Are you persuading her to speak to John Steenhuisen and Helen Zille to approve that particular budget? Secondly, Mr. President, on the issue pertaining to the budget itself, how far are your engagements with the economic freedom fighters? We hear they are also knocking at the doorstep, requiring to join the GNU. Then lastly, President Zelensky's visit to the country, your viewpoint on that visit, what did further fuel the tensions that are there with the American government, in particular President Donald Trump? Then lastly, Johannesburg, who are you bringing in as that special team from the presidency to help resolve the crisis of Johannesburg that you said that you have now been invited into their country? Thank you.
So many things, Samgelo.
If you can look at the cameras.
Oh my God. On the issue of the budget, we have been very bold in allocating as much money as the minister has allocated, 10 billion rand for basic education. And education is still our biggest spend in our country, and we are very proud of that. And allocating this amount of money gives a clear signal of where we want to go with regard to early childhood development. Now, the discussions on the budget are ongoing, they have started, and we are going to have a number of discussions across government with various political parties, because it is now in the hands of Parliament, and Parliament is the one that is going to be the arbiter. So let's leave that to parliamentarians. Fortunately, I'm not a parliamentarian, as you know, so they will deal with that. On the issue of President Zelensky, President Zelensky is due to come to South Africa soon, and we are looking forward to welcoming him. Now, our objective in bringing President Zelensky here, or responding to his request that he should come, is that we want to enforce the message of peace. We want to advance that objective. We've been saying the only way to resolve the Ukraine-Russia conflict is through peaceful means and through peaceful negotiations. So that is the message that we will be passing on to President Zelensky. And we do believe that that's precisely the same message that President Trump and the United States have also been passing on to President Zelensky. So in this, we are united, we have the same objective. So I don't see that causing any challenge or any problem whatsoever. On the issue of Johannesburg, we have now set up a presidential working group for Johannesburg. We are going to be working with various key stakeholders, the province of Gauteng, the Johannesburg Council itself. We're going to be working with business, with a number of civil society organizations, including research organizations and academic organizations and labor. So we're going to be united, just like we are united in dealing with the problems of eThekwini. I set up a presidential working group for eThekwini, and now we have done this for Johannesburg. eThekwini is being turned around, and I do believe that we're going to turn Johannesburg around. And we're going to get really good, important people to work on this process. What was your last question?
Who are those envoys that are coming to Johannesburg, individuals?
Oh, the individual, we're finalizing that. I'm finalizing the list of people who are going to be working together with the province and the council, as well as a number of business and civil society. You asked another question. I'm keen to...
Mr. President, we just wanted to get your comment on the withdrawal of the SAUDEC mission in the DRC.
On the SADC mission,
Yes,
semi-DRC?
yes, semi-DRC.
Yes, semi-DRC, as you will have heard, had a summit this past few days, and where it was decided that as a confidence-building measure to ensure that there is a ceasefire and there is peace, we should withdraw. And at the same time, we are also saying that all other uninvited forces should also withdraw. And negotiations must now ensue between the key role players, the DRC, Rwanda, M23, and a number of other non-state actors. And that meeting is due to take place this week. So for us, the decision to withdraw, which is going to be phased, it's not going to be withdrawal today, it's going to be phased, and that should be seen as a confidence-building measure to ensure that indeed there is peace and stability in the Eastern DRC. So it is a very positive move. It should never be seen in bad light, or it should never be seen as defeat. It is building up to the peace process and to a final ceasefire. Thank you very much to you all.
Thank you so much, President. The Minister is here to cover ECT.
Ramaphosa, of course, about to leave.
All right, so there you have it, President Cyril Ramaphosa there answering questions from journalists in the wake of giving the keynote address at the Banapeli ECD Leadership Summit, which is actually why we're there. But as you can imagine, the first thing that was asked from the president is reaction to Ibrahim Rasool's expulsion as the ambassador to South Africa. He's mentioned that this is all but a hiccup. He says we should not be having sleepless nights. South Africa, he reckons, cannot be ignored because of the importance that it plays in different geopolitical relationships, including that with the US. He's also said that we are not being ignored. I've said that already. We're not being blue-ticked is the exact term he used, which in and of itself, I suppose, is quite interesting. He says that Rasool will be coming back home, and he's requested a full report once he lands. Of course, the ambassador has been given, I think, until Friday to return to South Africa after he was declared persona non grata in the wake of remarks he made at a different webinar where he touched on domestic issues in the United States, essentially insinuating that Donald Trump is leading a white supremacist movement through the Make America Great Again movement, amongst many other things. So we'll try, of course, to continue ventilating these different issues because there's a great debate about whether or not a line had been crossed, diplomatically speaking, when those remarks were made.